Hello everyone and welcome. This is NanoTechNoob, and today I'm going to be playing some Oxygen Not Included. This game caught my eye a couple days ago, and I have already put about 49 hours into it. So you could say that is really quickly becoming one of my favorite games. So I decided, you know what, let's record some gameplay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and start a new world in survival. And we're just going to do, on the first one, we'll randomize the seed a little bit. And start up. So, before I get started, you'll notice, or let me go ahead and read the details of where we're going to be starting. So, this is the first asteroid in the large selection. There is, of course, like an ocean, a forest, a frozen one. But this is just the standard one. I might do plays through on the following ones, but that will just have to depend on how well I do on this one. So basically, by the looks of it, it's just a very balanced place full of resources, and really, you know, you shouldn't have any problems surviving here. So we're gonna go ahead and prove them wrong here. So yeah, let's go ahead. Get started. I'll have this load up. Alright, so the game is loaded up and we are able to choose 3 duplicants, and I've gone ahead and already gotten the ones that I feel fit to be deemed the perfect starters. So we've got Devin, Turner, and Gossman here. Of course, I don't particularly I don't have anything against these names, but I'd rather name them, you know, myself. So the way I do it is alphabetically, so we're gonna go with Alvin here. For Turner, your new name is going to be, if I knew how to spell Bartholomew, or Bartholomew, if I can even say it, we're gonna go with Barry. And for Gossman here, you are going to be Christine. Alright. And the name of the colony is NTN Inc. Why? Well, because NanoTechNoob Inc. The doy. Alright, let's go ahead and embark. Alright, let's do this. By the looks of it, we've got a pretty decent spawn here. So I know the basic controls of this game already. Basically, you get to use all these tabs here at the bottom to get them to do my bidding. So I'm going to go ahead and get them started on a few things while I explain just what their traits are. Don't want them to run out of oxygen instantly though. So the skills that I chose for them, let's go over to priorities. So you can see a couple of these are purple while most of them are gray. I try to balance out once I start off a game, you know, so that the start isn't entirely grindy. So Alvin here, he's pretty good at operating machinery, building, and digging, so he'll be primarily set to building and digging, with a little bit of operating on the side. Barry here, he's in charge of research, as you can see, so we'll set him pretty high up with a little bit of cooking. And Christine here has got quite a few traits and skills, but I wanted her mainly for the cooking, so we'll get her set up for cooking and a little bit of farming as well, and then hopefully the rest will work out. We'll also set all these guys to very high for attacking, just in case. Alright, so basically these guys are mining out some of these resources. This right here is copper ore, which we're going to need quite a bit of. This right here is coal. We won't really need that right off the bat, but it will be good to have. So go ahead and close those out. Alright, let's get started on a little bit of base work. So I know to start off, we're definitely going to want to get research, which I can't click on because we don't have a research station. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get that built up, and like a like a battery here too as well, just to keep things a little charged up, with a little mouse wheel so that, you know, they can get their exercise in while they slave away for me. So that's just going to be the basic startup here. As you can see, we've got this weird blue looking stuff and some darker looking stuff here. These are the different gases. If we go ahead and click the oxygen overlay, you can see these blue areas are very breathable oxygen areas, while the red areas are carbon dioxide, and this purple area also oxygen, it's just less of it. Oh, what is that? Got herself a natural gas geyser. That is pretty sweet, to be honest. Now, as I said, I have put about almost 50 hours into this game already, but I haven't actually gotten far enough to know exactly what these do, so that'll be a learning experience in the future. So these guys currently right now are just standing away while poor old Christine here is having to do the heavy lifting. So we'll go ahead and get them started. So this is the research in the game. This is basically how you progress, and I probably zoomed out a little too far. But as you can see, there's a bunch of different things that you can research, and from what I understand, the main goal of the game is to get right down here to rocketry and start getting stuff from outer space, which is what we'll be working for in this series. So to start off with research, I like to go just with the basic farming so we can get some food growing, because I know that becomes a major problem later in the game, as well as oxygen, but I've mainly had problems with food. So good old Alvin right here is gonna hop onto that little rat wheel that we set him up with, and who was it? Barry is going to go ahead and get on to researching, which leaves Christine to do all the basically heavy lifting for now. Actually, come to think of it, I would rather have Christine doing the operating, since Alvin is slightly better at building. So notice up here at the top left, we've got no oxygen generators built and no outhouses. Two rather important things, or at least, you know, I like to think that. So hop on down into plumbing here, grab yourself an outhouse, and get that. We'll get 2 of those started, and they do need to be built on something. And we'll add a little privacy door, you know, because 2 outhouses next to each other offers a whole lot of privacy, right? Right. And for sanity's sake, we'll throw another ladder down there. So this water right here is going to come in very important. What's that? Yeah, I don't know what to do with that temperature thing. I still haven't quite figured that out yet. Poor Christine's all tuckered out, which is a good time to bring up this. So you can see she's having herself a narcoleptic nap. So if I hop into her, I think it's the bios here. So her traits. So she is a narcoleptic, so she'll occasionally just drop down and fall asleep. She's also a vomiter. She'll occasionally vomit if she's under stress, so let's keep that in mind. Stress is indicated up here. Right now, none of them are stressed out at all, which is always a good thing. Let's see. Barry here, he's a binge eater when he's stressed out, and he's anemic, so he's going to be a little slower than everyone, but he's got diver's lungs, so he'll consume less oxygen, which the title of the game hasn't already tipped you off. It's rather important to keep note of. Then good old Alvin here, he has gastrophobia, unfortunately, which means he won't cook anything, so that's why we've got, I think it was Christine with the increase to cooking. He's also a binge eater, which means when he's stressed out he'll consume more food, so again, we really need to watch their food intake as well. Or, well, not food intake, their stress levels. So yeah, we've got them outhouses built. So next up would be the oxygen generators, which for now I don't think the placement of them really matters. Later on, as the base gets bigger, it will. Oh, and it is their current downtime, so they're gonna go ahead, eat, take a potty break, and then yeah, actually it's a good time to talk about their schedule. So this is their schedule here. This long, massive orange strip here is their work cycle. This little tiny green section here is their downtime, where they'll go do really whatever they want. Socialize, I don't know, play games maybe, go to the bathroom, clean up. And then this dark section here is their bedtime, where they'll, you know, go to sleep in the beds that I forgot to build for them. Or, well, forgot to tell them to build. Think for yourselves, guys. And then this light blue one over here is their bath time. I will be modifying the schedules so that way once we get more people, we'll have some of them working while others are sleeping, and some of that, or then, you know, vice versa, switch it up so that way the base is always moving forward. So as you can see, since there's no beds built here, these two are just chilling out, sleeping down by the toilets. Not exactly the most hygienic place, but I mean, to each their own. Christine right here sleeping on the ladder. I've tried that before, actually, being quite frankly honest. Not comfortable. So she's like, she must be a deep sleeper. Well, you know, she's a narcoleptic, so she's got to be able to fall asleep everywhere, right? Alright, so I can just speed this up a little. Get them to wake up. So that is day 1 done. Or, well, cycle 1 done. So yeah, we'll have them mine out this area, and the best part about this is I can start telling them, oh, we got our research done. Nice. I'll get to that in a second. So a cool part about this is you can start planning out and they'll automatically mine out the areas you've got buildings placed in, so you don't have to wait for them to dig. Unlike some other games, some that I've played. So with that research, if I go ahead, press R to bring up the research tab, you'll notice we got ourselves the algae terrarium, the composter, or, well, compost, the planter box, and another ration box, or at least the ability to build one. So basically this is only storage for food. This will grow plants, which will be especially important in the future. This will get rid of our polluted dirt. We'll get to that in the future as well. And this algae terrarium will produce oxygen from algae and carbon dioxide, which, again, if I bring this up, we've got a little bit of it, 4,000 grams above it. Oh, that's not that much. 7,000. Wait, I don't know how to read. 7 kilograms, so 7,000 grams of carbon dioxide above us. Once these here, these oxalate, these are emitting oxygen, keeping them, you know, alive as they dig. This is releasing oxygen. Once that number at the bottom there hits 0, or if I click on it, this number right here, wait, this number right here reaches 0, these will all disappear and everything up here is gonna pour down into here. So we don't exactly want all that carbon dioxide coming in, so yeah. Alright, so for oxygen, we're gonna go ahead and get that build up. So slap down 3 there, head over to the power, get some wire, or some batteries. a generator and hook it all up with wires. And then for neatness, go ahead and throw a more, I don't know, aesthetic looking build there. And there we go. They'll go ahead and get that building. And we'll also go ahead and start another research tab. So one good one to have, you'll notice a lot of the starting ones are only using this standard research here, which is well and good, but after the first two, or first one or two, you start needing more of this advanced research as well. That can be unlocked right here. So we'll go ahead and click on this. He'll research this employment tab here and then the advanced research. And then we won't really have to worry about, you know, getting any more of these, because I'm pretty sure it's just those two types of research, right? No. There's the interstellar research, which we'll eventually figure out where that is, right? Right? I didn't even know that existed. Alright, well, back to work. So as you can see, it shows you all the new things you got, so like this compost, the ration box and planted box, and the algae terrarium. That terrarium will probably come in handy later as they produce more carbon dioxide. As you can see, that one oxalite that was right here is now fully depleted, which means these ones are also getting closer to depleting. Yep. Alright, now we'll let old Alvin here slave away. And then you might notice this big ol' thing that they all came in at the start. This is the printing pod. So we will be getting more of these duplicates later on. Oh, she looks like she's about to drop. Yeah, we'll be getting more of these duplicates later on. Once this yellow bar fills all the way up, we'll have access to a care package or a new duplicate. We'll be able to choose. I'll show you that in the next 1.2 cycles. Alright. It's like old Christine's here to work on this little mouse wheel. Alright. So, trying to think of what to do here, because I'd like to expand out a little more to get their beds built. We're expanding here, we'd let in all the carbon dioxide, so that means we might have to dig downwards. Which isn't a problem, we can just relocate stuff in the future. So we'll go 4 blocks down, or 4 tiles down, and set it on this side. Also set up that door. Alright. And get their cots built. Alright, so they're gonna go ahead and slave away. Yeah. Basically, it's just gonna be them, well, Christine running back and forth between these mouse wheels, and then Alvin building all this and Barry researching. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the recording here and come back in a few minutes once basically all that has been done. Look at that. They're just sleeping away in their nice comfy cots while poor Christine here is sleeping in the doorway with a hatch just staring at her. Come on, guys. Be nice to the lady. Oh. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, that room's full of carbon dioxide, so they're gonna... At least Christine's got some oxygen here to breathe. These guys apparently have to keep coming up, so yeah. Alright, so yeah, I'll be back once this is all built up. Alright, so they have gotten their bed built, and I'm having them expand out the make do restroom, and also opening up a lower area for some of those algae terrariums to deal with the carbon dioxide that we are now taking on up here. But you'll notice that this thing is now glowing. That is because we have got ourselves another printable that we can get. So, looks like we've got 3 choices of duplicants and a care package for some pufflet eggs. No idea what those are, but we are definitely going to need some or another duplicant. So let's see, we have got someone who can dig already and cook. Tidying, research, decorating, grease monkey. So in my experience, decorating isn't that great of a skill, but the fact that he has +3 to machinery is pretty good. He's also got -5 athletics, but from what I've seen, as they run on those little wheels, they gain more points towards athletics, which should cancel out. He can't do building errands, but I think we're good for now on building. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take this guy, and since we need a name that starts with D, we're gonna go ahead and go with Daryl. Why not, right? Alright, let's go ahead and print Daryl out. Everyone just got a new friend bonus. We have this little icon on the printing pod. We go ahead and click that, and click on Daryl. You'll notice he already starts off with a skill point. So skill points are used to upgrade level up, whatever, your duplicants so that they can be better at what they do. These X's here obviously mean they can't learn these, since he won't learn, or since he refuses to do building things, he won't be able to learn any of these skills. But these hearts here mean that they will gain a morale boost for it. From what I understand, morale is just basically, it affects how much stress that they have, or that they can take on, and how fast they'll gain it. And it also, I think, increases their speed if they are above their morale need. So again, decorating, not particularly useful. Researching, we've already got someone to research. Tidying, could be useful, but he does have the grease monkey attribute, which means he's at +3. This adds 2 to the machinery, which means he will work significantly faster. So I think we're gonna go ahead, say, sorry buddy, but you're gonna get something you don't particularly like, but something you're good at. But you get a new hat, unlike everyone else, so feel good about that. And let's go ahead and watch him here as he gets his skill point beamed into his head. And his hat. Boom. Congratulations, Daryl. Alright, so Daryl is currently idle because we only have building things going on. Let us set his priorities. So, Daryl, you are operating first. And then, for now, I think that's good. Actually, speaking of which, Christine, you don't need to worry much more about that. Alright. So we've also got those research things done, so we got the supercomputer for advanced research, the skill scrubber, which I've never actually found a good use for, and where was the other one? The water cooler for increased morale. Alright. And also it should be their downtime in a few seconds. Called it. Alright. While they're nomming away on their food, let's go ahead and start other research, or queue up some more research. So we've got this pool of water right here that I'd like to move out of the way a little bit in the future. For now it's fine, but just so that we can do that later in the future, I'm going to go ahead and grab the plumbing research tab, but also the sanitation one for the sink and shower as well. Alright. So, once their cycle goes through, I believe it was Barry will start researching. So yeah, I will see you when their sleep cycle is over. Alright, so it is now morning, so we're going to go ahead and start work on this little room that I have down here. So these doors here are pneumatic doors, so basically water and air can flow freely between them, as well as, you know, as well as the duplicants. Creatures, on the other hand, cannot pass through them, which is good, so this hatch won't get anywhere else. Not that he's going to do anything bad to the base, it's just I like to know where they're being kept. So this bottom room down here, you'll notice, if I go ahead and open that tab here, or the overlay here, this entire bottom area is filled with carbon dioxide. I'd like to get rid of that, and the only way we can for now is these algae terrariums. So these, I believe, run off of dirt and water. They have water here, but they don't have any way of accessing it yet. So we'll also go ahead and schedule them to build a pitcher pump. Actually, cancel that. Build a ladder down for no reason, and then the pitcher pump. Dig that out for organization. I can also set their priorities as well. I'd like them to get the pitcher pump done first, so I'll set all that to priority 6, this ladder to 4, and these algae terrariums to 5. So they should dig this out and build the pump, and then the terrariums, and then get the ladder done. Also, you can see these oxygen diffusers are pumping away with the algae we've been getting. Speaking of which, we should probably have them mine some more. Just, you know, not break through this water, because I don't want to flood the base, you know, right off the bat. And looks like they can't reach that, so we'll set this ladder here to priority 9. So they'll get to that a little bit faster. Right, so basically what the pitcher pump allows them to do is pump water into bottles and transport it. It's going to be useful for these terrariums, as you can see, insufficient resources, algae, and water. And then it's also useful for the research station and these microbe mushers, which we'll need here in a minute, actually. Basically everything uses water, so yeah. Alright. Then speaking of these microbe mushers, we do need a way for them to get food. Right now we're at 13,000 kcal. I'm gonna assume that's kilocalories. Something like that, I don't know. Oh, looks like he just finished the plumbing research. So we got access to the pump, the pipe, the liquid bridge, which just allows you to build over pipes without crossing the streams, and vents, which allows you to drop off water from the pipes, or any liquids from the pipes. But yeah. So right now we were sitting at 13,000 units of food. That's what I'm gonna refer to them as now. I believe we consume about 1,000 per duplicant every cycle, which means that this will run out rather quickly if we don't start getting some food for them. So we'll start off by digging out another area, same size, because, you know, I'm original, right? Right? Ah. Same style, door, door, and we'll get this planned out. So, generator, battery, and microbe musher, followed by some wires. And actually in here, let's throw in another battery, just so whoever's operating it doesn't have to operate it as frequently, just for, you know, longer. We'll set the all the stuff involving construction up to priority 6 so that they'll get that done before finishing up the room. Alright. So it says insufficient oxygen generation. So we have produced basically no oxygen at all, and used slightly more than no oxygen last cycle, which means we're gonna want to step up the oxygen production, which is exactly what Daryl here is doing. So we should be bringing some algae over to these. Oh. Wait, is he slow? Skills. Oh yeah, -5 to athletics. Entirely forgot that already. So Daryl here should hop on that mouse wheel, right? Yeah. Since that battery was getting low. Alright. So yeah, basically same story here. They're gonna be building up their food room so that we can get them going, and same story again. I will see you once it's done. Alright, something that I didn't know was in the game just happened. There was a block right here that was leaking, I'm presuming from the amount of pressure from the water here, and it broke, allowing the water to fill in here, which allows me to demonstrate another thing, which is mopping. So when a duplicant here can't make it to the bathroom, they'll make a mess, which produces polluted water, and in which case you'll need to mop it up, otherwise the area will be unpleasant for them, as you can imagine. Here, it's not quite as bad because it's just regular water, but yeah, that is good to know that something like that is in the game. So we will definitely be keeping that in mind. Alright, it's currently the end of the 5th cycle here. Everyone is heading off to their beds, except for Daryl, to get some shut-eye in the carbon dioxide filled room that they have. But these algae terrariums are currently active, getting rid of carbon dioxide very slowly, but not insignificantly. If we go ahead and click the oxygen overlay, it is filling up this area here. I am gonna go ahead and schedule a mesh tile. Let's do it right here, so that the oxygen can rise up and take over the world, right? And then another one right here, so the carbon dioxide up here can slowly start falling down. At least that's the plan, because I do notice that the carbon dioxide does sink and the oxygen does float up more. Yeah, so they got the little makeshift kitchen here done, and I've set it to infinitely do some mush bars. Not very great quality-wise, but they'll survive, at least for the time being. We also have another skill point to give out, and it looks like it goes to Barry, so we're going to go ahead and dump it into researching, and give him the good old Doc Brown fancy mind-reading hat there. If you guys haven't seen Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3, I highly recommend all of them. They're probably my favorite movies, and I've been rewatching them lately. That is, that's the exact hat. Let's watch him slap it on. Boom. There we go. Alright. So Barry's gonna go ahead, get to work, helping out build this area. This episode is starting to reach its closing point, so I'm gonna go ahead and build or schedule one last room while you guys are here. Get these planter boxes scheduled. Let's go ahead and also set their priority to pretty low, actually, because I do want them to dig all this out so they have access to these plants up here, because this mealwood, which is what we're going after right now to plant, that's currently ready to harvest. I don't know if it's gonna die soon or not. Hopefully not. But yeah, once they get over there, they'll go ahead, harvest that, and I'll schedule them to plant it. But for now, that is that's the base as is. We will be rearranging stuff so it's more efficient with designated rooms, because having different rooms does have different benefits to them, as all listed here. For example, we've got ourselves a barracks, which gives them increased morale down there at the bottom, just morale +1. I believe that's per cycle or just +1 in general. I don't exactly know how that works, don't quote me on it. But yeah, we will try to get as many of these rooms as we can built in the future. But yeah. Oh, looks like we've also got another skill to give. So this one is for Alvin. We'll go ahead and dump it into building, and he'll get his, looks like, makeshift construction worker's hat. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and call it the end of the episode here. So we'll go ahead and watch Alvin throw on his helmet here. But yeah, if you gotta like the video, then leave a like. If you didn't, then leave a dislike, I guess. Share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, all that jazz. Subscribe if you haven't already. I've been NanoTechNoob, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.